check. 1, 2, 3.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome middle school. Everybody happy today? High school guests, welcome to you too. And visiting guests, we have a lot of visitors today. Just wanted to take a moment before we start the program today about what we always talk about in the middle school anyway, and representing our school well. You guys we always get great remarks from visitors when they come and see the way our students engage with the stage. So please make sure that you're keeping yourselves accountable. Make sure you're giving our speakers undivided attention, and enjoy the program.
You never know when it's going to be your opportunity to step in and save a life. CPR and AEDs. It's why I'm still here in front of you today. My name is Damar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. I want to take my situation and be able to help others. One of the importance is the leading cause of death in youth athletes. I'm taking a step in to make a change. Getting more people CPR certified. It connects with the American Heart Association and its mission. The mission of the Nation of Lifesavers is simple. When an incident breaks out and someone needs CPR, people can be well equipped to be able to save a life. We're taking a nation of bystanders and turning it into a nation of lifesavers. I've always been about the community. I've always been about making tomorrow better for the youth. We're saving lives across the world. Someone who could save a life, that's a superpower if you ask me.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mari Annis, and I am the co-president of the Sports Medicine Club here at ASIJ. It is my absolute honor to welcome you all today to today's special event. We are privileged to host two extraordinary guests who have had a profound impact on the world of sports, health, and community resilience. First, we have Nancy Brown, the CEO of the American Heart Association, a global authority on heart and brain health research, education, and advocacy, and a champion for overall health and well-being. Also, joining us today is Damar Hamlin, a safety for the Buffalo Bills and a true testament to perseverance. As many of you may know, in January 2023, Damar faced a life-threatening cardiac arrest during a game. His recovery, resilience, and commitment to making a difference have inspired millions. Through his foundation, Chasing M's, he is turning his experience into a global movement, advocating for CPR awareness, supporting youth, and promoting health worldwide. Together, Damar and Mrs. Brown exemplify how one moment can spark a movement, whether through resilience on the field or through groundbreaking public health initiatives. Cardiac arrest outside of a hospital affects more than 3.8 million people around the world, and the survival rate hovers very low at only 8 to 12%. AHA's Nation of Lifesavers movement teaches how to recognize a cardiac arrest and jump in with CPR, which can double or even triple someone's chance to survive. The goal is to turn bystanders into lifesavers in every nation around the world, so that in the event of a cardiac emergency, anyone, anywhere is prepared and empowered to become a critical link in the chain of survival and provide CPR. We have very limited time today. Let's move on to the fireside chat. The moderators for today's fireside chats are Mr. Suzuki, our Director of Strategic Partnerships, Sakura, co-president of the Sports Medicine Club, and Jack, an avid Buffalo Bills fan. Now, let's welcome our special guests on stage. Please join me in welcoming Damar Hamlin and Nancy Brown to ASIJ. Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Hey everyone.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for coming here. I hope you're excited.
Thanks for having us.
Excited here, right? Again, we have very, very limited time today. So we're gonna get going. We have a lot of questions today. And I know after this, they're gonna be doing CPR training for 400 middle school students, right? Who's in the audience? Who are middle school students in here, in this audience? Great, are you guys ready? Are you ready for the CPR training today? That's great. So let's get started with the very first theme, which is overcoming challenges and finding purpose.
Looking back to January 2023, your journey since then has been nothing short of inspiring and transformative. What kept you going through uncertainty and challenges? And how has this experience shaped your perspective on resilience?
How it shaped my perspective on resilience, I would say, is it taught me how important the process is and having your intention set of what you want to do and then enjoying the process as well. And the thing that I leaned on the most were the people around me, my peers. They were able to keep me going. They were able to change my perspective whenever my situation was, weighing on me too much. They were able to motivate me in different ways and just always be there to push me and keep me going. So I'm so thankful for my teammates, my coaches, my family, my friends, all of my support system. They were able to be there for me in those tough moments of when keep going on the journey was tough.
Brown, through your work at the American Heart Association, you've seen many stories of perseverance and recovery. From a leadership standpoint, how do you think young people today can develop the mindset to face challenges and turn adversity into action?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that great question. I think everyone's life, we all have moments where things don't go exactly the way we wish they would. And at that moment, you have a choice to make. You can be down about it, and feel discouraged, or you can take that moment as a lesson and really, think through how to overcome that moment that may not be perfect. And we call that resilience. And I look at Damar as a great example of resilience. I think for all of us, learning lessons along the way, because life is filled with lessons, and being prepared for the next time a situation comes along really matters. For me, I can think through my life. I can think of being back at your age, things that maybe didn't go exactly the way I wanted them to. But I learned, from those moments and really learned how to problem solve and learned how to lean on others for help. And I think leaning on other people perhaps is one of the most important things any of us can do when we need some help to move forward.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next part, which is about movement, right? So building a movement and creating change. That was the next thing.
Chasing M's has grown into a movement beyond football, touching communities around the world. What inspired you to start this initiative, and what lessons have you learned about turning an idea into something that creates real impact?
Well, for me, giving back to the community was in my DNA of who I've always been. I've seen my parents give back my entire life. My mom works for the community center since I was little, and now she owns 2 daycares where she's continuously like the mother of the community. And I watched my dad in early years, host community days and bring people together, which I never seen my community come together in that format outside of sports. So within me, it was already in my DNA in a way. So as soon as I got the opportunity, I wanted to be able to have that chance to do it as well. And also on my journey coming up and chasing my dreams and deciding what I wanted to do with my life, I never had that example in front of me of someone who could show me the way and show me the example of what I wanted to do. And it left an empty feeling inside of me. And I wanted to be able to get to that point so that the people coming after me didn't have to experience that, so that they could reach out to me and look at me and have me there in their lives. You can touch out, you can call me at any time to be able to ask questions, no matter if you want to be a football player or whatever it is, just having that person that has done what you've done or is successful in a way that you can reach out to and have as a resource was something that I wanted to provide for people as well.
The AHA's Nation of Lifesaver initiative aims to empower people across communities to be prepared to take action. What are some of the most effective ways young people, like the students here at ASIJ, can contribute to a larger mission like this?
Well, I'm so sorry. First of all, we're so grateful, Damar and I, to be here today, and this wonderful partnership between the Chasing M's Foundation and the American Heart Association really seeks to inspire change. And the young lady who introduced us said something, and Damar and I both looked at each other backstage and we said, yes, take a moment to create a movement. And I think that's what we hope to do with all of you today. Every single one of you, you have friends, you have family members, and our goal is to help you be inspired to realize that learning this life-saving skill of CPR will truly give you skills that could change somebody's life. And that's what being a leader is all about. Learning something and creating it as part of your life every single day. So we hope that all of you, as part of the Nation of Lifesavers, when you learn CPR today, that you maintain that as a life skill, because you never know when you might need to save the life of somebody you know and you love.
Great, thank you. So let's talk about now the power of teamwork and connection.
Your story is not just about personal strength, it's also about the people around you, from medical professionals to your teammates, family, and supporters. What has this experience taught you about the power of collaboration, and how do you think students can apply these lessons in their own teams and communities?
The first thing I would say is it takes a village, and that's for everything. And just to be able to lean on my teammates in those tough moments, I can specifically call out a few of my teammates, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Josh Allen, in ways that they were right there for me in those tough moments early on, trying to return back to playing football, where I wanted to be as far away from the game of football as possible, but I knew it was best for me to push myself to do the hard things early, and it wasn't easy at all. But the fact that I had my teammates there in those tough moments, that I was able to even look to who were experiencing their own form of adversity and getting over things tough in their own ways, that I was able to, look at them and see them overcoming and know that, if they're doing it, then I can do it in my own way, even if the situations are different. So just leaning on the people around you, keeping good people around you, supporting them as much as they support you, I think it's extremely important, and it builds success within each other.
Leading an organization like the AHA requires bringing together experts from different fields like doctors and researchers and educators and policymakers. What do you believe makes for an effective team, and what advice would you give to students who want to develop strong collaboration skills?
Yeah. What a great question. I think life is about teamwork. If you think of everything that you might aspire to do as students, having people around you as collaborators and supporters, you'll find is going to be key. And to me, I get to work with a lot of amazing teams. I get to work with teams of doctors. One of our doctors is here today, Dr. Drew Kazi, who's a leading cardiologist in Boston. And I think what is very clear to me that makes an effective team, the most important thing is listening before you talk. In my experience, that when teams are together, everyone has a lot to say. But being a student of what other people think and what their perspective is, I think makes you the best team member as possible. And, I see this a lot in my work. A lot of people have many things to say. The most effective teams are teams where people are listening to each other and then building upon what each other, is this working? Yes? Okay. What each other thinks or has to say. The other thing I would say is respecting that people bring different points of views to conversations. The best teams are teams where people debate things. Not everybody comes to the table thinking exactly the same way. As a matter of fact, my perspective is when everyone comes to the table and says, yep, that's what we're going to do. Okay, great, we're done. We probably haven't pushed hard enough to get the best idea out or the best work product out. So valuing different points of view, even if it's tricky, can be really important to a team. And the last thing I would say is respect. You know, great team members respect each other. Damar spoke about his respect for his co-players in Buffalo, and what I know from those people is their great respect for Damar as well. And so respect really matters.
I went deeper with what you just said. So next one is about using your voice for impact.
Your journey has made you a powerful advocate for heart health and CPR awareness. At ASIJ, we encourage students to think about how they communicate their passions to make an impact. What have you learned about using your voice to inspire change?
You know, I've learned that no matter the platform, no matter how loud you think your voice is, the voice matters. And affecting one person is important as affecting a million. You know, as long as you can reach somebody, you're doing your part. And don't feel like just because you see somebody making more impact or reaching more people by using their voice, that your voice doesn't matter at all. You know, just being able to use your voice and affect whoever you can, whether it's your peers around you, whether it's the people in your household, whatever it is, but standing up and actually using your voice for whatever it is that you believe in is extremely important, no matter the size, no matter the impact. As long as you can impact one person, then, you know, you've done your part. But just continuing to make sure you use your voice and, you know, using that platform for good.
The AHA's message reaches millions of people worldwide. What do you believe makes communication truly effective, and how can students become better advocates for the causes that they believe in?
Authenticity really matters. You know, sometimes that you see the train moving a certain way and you think you need to jump on and carry that same message. But being true to who you are and what you believe in and the things that really matter to you as a person, I think at the end of the day probably matters most. And so using your voice in support of issues that you are passionate about, I would say is probably one of the most important things. As Damar just said, you know, you can see all kinds of people reaching all kinds of people on social media. That is great, but it may not actually end up having the impact as much as sitting down and, you know, with a small group of people and sharing your perspective or point of view on things. So I think, you know, as young people, you really have a chance in life, you know, to get behind the things that matter to you, you know, to make decisions about the things you want to focus your life on and then really go all in on them. And that includes using your voice. You all are so influential, and you really have a chance in your families and in your communities to stand up for things that matter to you, and we really hope you'll do that. You know, this is what the American Heart Association is all about. We stand up for the health and well-being of people everywhere, everyone everywhere, and, you know, you'll find the thing that matters to you and just go for it with full gusto.
Thank you. So next, let's think about the future, right? So the next thing is going to be look into the future.
We'll be starting with Ms. Brown this time. So as the AHA moves into its second century, what do you see as the biggest opportunities and challenges for improving heart health globally, and how can countries like Japan and international communities play a key role in advancing this mission?
Thank you. You know, one of the things we see when we look at the world and think about global heart health is there's a lot of disparities. You know, there are people in some countries, you know, that live a long time, and there are people in other countries that don't have the same access to doctors or medicines or other ways to have prevention, like exercise and eating well and the things that we know really matter to prevent having heart disease. The access isn't the same. And so we think a lot about, at the Heart Association, about how to even the playing field so that everyone everywhere has the same opportunity to live a long and healthy life. When I think about Japan, you know, what an amazing country you all have the opportunity to live in. You know, a country that really values medicine and prevention and health and well-being. And I think all of you have a chance to be role models. I loved walking around the campus and seeing all of the physical activity and everyone so happy participating in exercise, which is one of the most important things that you can do to protect your heart health, especially when you're young. And so, what we think about at the HA in the second century is giving everyone, everywhere, an equal chance to have good health and well-being for their whole life. And we invite all of you to join us on that mission.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown. You've already made an incredible impact on and off the field, but what's next for you? What's your vision for the future of Chasing M's, and how do you hope young people can be a part of this movement?
So what I envision is Chasing M's just continuing to be a leading force in, raising awareness of how important CPR is and the impact that it has on saving lives. And being here not only for the next 5 years, but for the next 30, and just continuing to be the face of, not only just being an athlete, but also being an athlete who uses his platform for good and the right things, and things that mean more than just the sport. Football is a game that I love, and I've always wanted to make it to the NFL when I was a kid. So even younger than you guys sitting here, I've always had the dream to make it to the NFL, but to be able to travel the world and be here with you all in Japan and be teaching how important CPR is way more of importance, and it feels way more of an impact than anything that the game of football could ever bring me. So I know how important that is, and I'm super excited to continue to lead that force.
Now we're going to move on to the final reflections.
Ms. Brown, what's one small but meaningful step each person in the room can take to help create a nation of lifesavers?
Well, I would say two things. You asked for one, I'll give you two. One is learn the life-saving skill of CPR, and then make sure that everyone in your family and your friends also knows the life-saving skill of CPR. That's what we're trying to do, Damar's Chasing M's Foundation and the American Heart Association, to make sure that everyone knows CPR. It really is important, and you may save someone's life someday, and what an amazing thing to be prepared to do.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. If there's one lesson from your journey that you hope students here take with them, what would it be? And this is the final question, sorry.
I always feel like I have so much advice, but to narrow it down to just one thing, I think I would have to say, just follow your passion. Whatever you feel like that driving force of truly what you want to do in your heart whenever you get older, whatever you see yourself doing, chase that, and enjoy the journey of chasing it, because ultimately, the journey is really the experience. And, I got that lesson early on in college where, I was just so focused on just making it to the NFL that I wasn't taking time to enjoy anything around me, so enjoy every step of the process. Even if you're not where you want to be at the moment, just still enjoy everything, experience it all, because whenever you get to that moment, you'll have all those memories, and those memories will truly be what keep you going and keep pushing you forward. So, just enjoy everything and chase whatever it is that you truly desire in your heart.
Thank you, Damar and Ms. Brown, for sharing your powerful stories, insights, and wisdom with us today. Your words have not only inspired us, they've challenged us to think bigger, to act with more purpose, and to never underestimate the ripple effect of one brave choice. To everyone here, whether you're a student, educator, or guest, today's conversation reminded us that resilience, teamwork, and using our voices can create a real, lasting change. We've learned that anyone, at any age, can make an impact, from learning CPR to leading with your heart in whatever field you choose in. With that, thank you all for being a part of this meaningful conversation. Let's carry this inspiration forward in our lives, our communities, and our choices.
we are going to take a group picture. So we're going to ask Ms. Brown and Damar to be in the audience. They're going to take a picture from the stage. So please
Staying right here? Get down or stay?
Everybody please be seated. Thank you.